Shorty's back. Shorty's back in business. SuperCoach is a tough old game, but Shorty was back in business today. Just taking a look at a bit of an open mic, but I will take a look at my SuperCoach side. And what a difference a week makes in not only footy, but SuperCoach. Last week, and probably the last few, it's been in all sorts. Been really struggling, some tough weeks, but I responded, and it was led by my midfield. We'll take a bit of a look at the stats. 2,379, clearly my best score for the year, and one of my best scores in the first half of a season, probably ever. You often get your 2,400s and the odd 2,500 in the back half of the season, but to produce that in the first half is really impressive, and it was led by my midfield, as I said. Ranked 691. I think I have been higher than that on the odd occasion, but there haven't been too many top 1,000 finishes over the journey. They're quite tough, particularly in recent years. You know, you get plenty in the top 1% for sure, 1 or 2%, but to get in the top 1,000 is always difficult. So surged me up the rankings, which was good. Just nice to have one of those big weeks to take you right up the rankings where you want to be. So nearly hitting the 20,000 mark in terms of rankings. So I feel I can certainly springboard a bit. So take a look at my side. Of course, my trades. Dangerfield came in, a very timely trade. And my other move was, what was it? Powell Pepper left for Myers. But anyway, we'll take a look at the side from the back line. Laird racked it up, fantastic 110. And Adams, again, very good in a fantastic Collingwood comeback. They're just scoring brilliantly. They're averaging exactly the same after scores of exactly the same. So, and they have been exactly that. As a duo, they've been brilliant for everyone who has them in their back line. Tui was also very impressive, back to some of his really good form after a quieter week. He wasn't alone in the Cats side against the Bombers, but certainly he was very impressive. Heath Shaw is not quite hitting his straps at the moment, just not quite getting the quantity. I think he's still getting your sort of 18 to 20 touches, but we need around that 25 mark just to get that extra 16 to 25 points to really pump things up. Nick Newman, fantastic. He's going really well. 151 last week, which I and many missed out on, but got his 93 this week, which is really good. Not only good for the fact that it gives you points, but his price is going to absolutely skyrocket, and he will flatten out at some stage, produce some 60s and 70s, I'm sure. By that stage, be able to offload him and probably get in a dockety in my case. Williamson, 64, reasonable, you know, tough conditions out there in WA. I think it was pouring rain for most of the game, but plenty of effective kicks, and I think the Blues are liking what he's doing. Stewart played a good game, 52 points. O'Connor could probably be a fair chance to be dropped, I think, just the 35 points. And the midfield, as I said, was where the damage was done. Take a look at these numbers. Absolutely, probably as good as a midfield of mine has ever gone, I feel. Mitchell, 158, 50 touches, fantastic game. He's been heavily criticised for his 50-touch game, which I think is ridiculous. Yes, he handballs a bit. I don't want to get on a tangent here, but some blokes are more damaging than others. I mean, if Bond gets 50, you're in trouble. Mitchell, okay, sure, it maybe wasn't as damaging as some of his 35-touch games, but gee, it was one of his best. There's no doubt about that. He killed Collingwood in the first half and was very good in the last quarter in particular. Dangerfield, 151 on the Friday night. Got the VC action on him and loopholed that. Pendlebury, who probably would have been my other option, you know, saved me a few points. Nonetheless, great to have guys scoring big. Hanbury is back in a big way. Great to see. 137. Fife, 98 points. Not too bad, you know, obviously not as good as some of those other guys, but, and Treloar, you know, after 3 touches in the first quarter, you're thinking, gee, he's burning us, just absolutely killing us, but he's now had a bit of a return to form, and he's starting to look a bit better after coming back on the side. Barrett, 87 points, really good. It's just gold when some of the guys you don't expect to score points. I mean, he's capable of a 40, and to get close to 90 is just gold. As you see, Ballack, skipper, knew he wasn't going to play, get the VC loophole happening. Myers comes in, scores 60, which you take, it's serviceable. Grundy and Sandilands were again good without being great, which they have been for much of the year. I think both of their averages sort of reflect that. They've been in the mid-90s, low to mid-90s. Probably expect a bit more from Grundy, where Sandilands is just doing very nicely, doing well. McRae, as we move to the forward line, McRae, Dalhouse, it was tough for the Dogs down in Geelong. They were hit hard with a lot of pressure, and they certainly weren't their worst players by any means. Not their best scoring games at all, but certainly 84 and 90. If they're their poorer games, which on this year is certainly proving the case, I think we'll take that for some of their lower end stuff. Nankervis is proving to be a very good buy as he continues to reward us, 100 points. Higgins was tagged quite heavily by Vince at certain stages. And look, I didn't absolutely watch this game intently. I was at work for most of it and had it on the whole time, was looking up, but certainly getting a feel for the game and how he played. I thought he fought it out, moved forward. I think he had 4 tackles in the first quarter, and as soon as he went forward to sort of escape that tag a bit, obviously didn't lay another tackle, but did really get involved. And I thought if he could have snagged one of those goals that he missed, he would have probably been looking about 100, but was very effective, particularly late. Heaney, 69, probably the poorest score for the round in my side, given expectation, but he's been very good, and I think he'll continue to be good for me. And Mitchy Hannon was probably one that, with Tom Lynch out, I was going, Jesus, he's just really shown that he is only capable of 30 to 50 points, aside from round 1. But he pulled one out of the bag for me, which, again, I spoke of the dumb luck last week in SuperCoach. I was on the good side of it this time around, which is nice, because I felt at certain stages this year I've been on the bad end of some dumb luck, perhaps others benefiting more than myself. But, Hannon kicked the 3 in the first half, I think it was, looked lively, took some really good marks, and above all, not only does he score well, but he's a cash cow, and those sort of performances will ensure he's in the side for some time. So I reckon he was a very good performer on the day. As you can see, there wasn't much on my bench, which is a slight concern. It's probably something I'll have to look into. Obviously, we can, make this little change with Lynchy here. So I guess Hannon, in effect, is in on my bench. But if Eddie can't get in the side, you start to make a call on that. The defenders, they're playing but not necessarily scoring. Therefore, their points aren't generating too much cash. And in the midfield, of course, is where it's very scarce. So I'll have to attend to that, but I saw Proust play live in the VFL on Saturday. I was covering the North Ballarat game, and Werribee ventured down to Ballarat, so I watched that. But he was pretty impressive, just was so much taller than the North Ballarat ruckman that they had, so he was always going to dominate alongside Majak Dor. So interesting to see. He's probably going to be close, but also Goldstein is dominating on his own, which he so often has, and has so often kept guys out of the side. So, look, I was back in town this week, guys. I was back in town, which was very good to see. I'll just zoom this one out if you guys want to have a quick little overall peek while I talk. So, very pleasing to see that sort of score come through. Saturday night, I was thinking, this is great. I'm really in the money here. If I can just get sort of 210 points out of Hannon, Williamson and Myers, which they pretty much did. I haven't even really checked. What are we? 124 plus your 85. What's that? 209 points. So pretty much did the pass mark. Would have liked a bit more out of Fife and Higgins, my 2 premiums. Sandilands ticked the box, but, I'll take that. As long as there were no tragedies on the Sunday, kept me within striking range of a good overall score, and that's exactly what I got. So really, really pleasing to see. I was absolutely stoked, as you can probably imagine, because when you're doing a channel on your scores, it does start to, when you get back-to-back poor ones, and, I know you guys probably respect my opinion, but sometimes you want to actually put it on the board, because I've been giving out some reasonable advice and my thoughts have been well received, but haven't exactly hit my strap. So I certainly feel like I'm well set and well prepared for a real good stint in the second half. Also forgot to mention, there is a fair bit of cash waiting in the bank. So there's not much on the bench, but what is it, 350 odd K. Of course, that happened because I got money from Rockcliffe down to Dangerfield, only 30K, and then Power Pepper down to Myers, which I can't remember how much it was, but certainly got me 3 figures of coin in yeah, 150k or something around that. Can't remember how much it was. Probably would have been 180, I think. I think Power Pepper was 311, but anyway, that's not overly important. So that was my side. Obviously pleased with it. I hope you guys had a good weekend as well, because it was quite a higher scoring round. Certainly be back midweek. I might do a shorty say on maybe the fixture or something. I might have a look at some of the Monday night footy shows and see what they put on the agenda, because generally they set the tone for what we discuss throughout the week. So I'll take a look at that. But yeah, certainly a bit of a shorty say. Hopefully you enjoyed Shorty's analysis as well. I really enjoyed doing that. And of course, I'll be back later in the week to preview the weekend of SuperCoach and everything we should be doing there. So thanks for tuning in, guys. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Always appreciate that. And give us a comment. Let me know how you went. Give a video a like. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed a good week like myself. So cheers again, and I'll catch you all soon.